All right. What up? What up? What up? How is everyone doing on this lovely Thursday night? Welcome back to a brand new off-season edition of 27 Outs. As always, I am Ivan alongside Stefan. It's been a few days, but shout out to everybody who did enjoy our last show, which was about 5 days ago now. A lot of you guys showed love. I mean, and it really showed, right? Like the views over 200, a lot of likes as well. And considering, with where we're at in the year, no games and just strictly talking about news, rumors, speculation, you name it, to still show up here and have, to end up with those results is huge. So shout out to you guys who always support us, as always. But anyway, as you can tell by the title of tonight's show, we definitely want to get into some WBC action. Me and Stefan right now, we look like two ops. He's rocking the USA cap. I got this Team DR shirt on. What are you guys rocking? For those of you who are watching tonight, let us know in the comments. But anyway, and also relievers too. A couple of guys found new homes, so we might get into that as well. Stefan, how are you feeling? And yeah, man, let's start with whatever you want to get into.
I'm good, brother. Enjoying the last couple days before 2026 gets here, and just doing what I do, man. Off season work, seeing what these players are signing. The WBC, we had a bunch of roster additions today. Plus, I got a juicy Yankee tidbit I want to save to the end of the show, but we're gonna drop that right now.
Juicy as in good or bad? Because juicy could be bad too.
Juicy as in I didn't think this was gonna unexpected. Let's just put it like that.
Gotcha.
Hey man, I want to start as the title says. USA lands Skubal, USA lands Miller, and if we could have thrown Logan Webb in there too, we would have. I'm telling you right now, I don't know if they win it, but they're going to have something to say.
This is by far the best pitching Team USA has ever had. And that's even better than when they won in 2017.
Yeah. This pitching right here, these dudes, they came. They ready. They ready to go to war. When you got Skeens, when you got Skubal, when you got Mason Miller, when you got Logan Webb, when you got a young and like Nolan McLean, which we're gonna get into because I didn't really want him on the roster, but that's for us to discuss here tonight.
Right.
The USA really understands. Listen, this is a time for us to, number one, show that we can compete with anybody in the world, and two, you want to make it so that other teams don't mess with y'all. Listen, it's a 3-horse race. It's us, Japan, and DR. The rest of y'all can sit this out. Go over there. Great Britain, you don't belong here. Italy, you don't belong here. Whoever else, you don't belong here. It's me against them two.
Right.
Superpower time out here. And when I got excited? When I seen Tarik Skubal, I was like, hold up. Now we talking about schemes. Now we talking about Skubal. Now we talking about, Logan Webb.
The two best pitchers in baseball.
Yeah.
That's literally 1A and 1B. I can't say that's number 1 and 2. Like when, as people who are looking forward to seeing how Team USA Team USA's roster is gonna look overall, right? Because we still have a couple more decisions to come. But when have you ever looked at the roster and said, wow, you literally have both the American League Cy Young Award winner and National League Cy Young Award winner committing to play in the WBC? You don't see that.
It's, what they're doing right now, I'm going to tell you something right now. It's incredible what these guys got going on. And that reason why they're taking it seriously is because look who we got committed.
Right.
Look who we got committed. At that point, when you talked about, damn, who's playing with Team USA, that's kind of crazy to say. You got perhaps the two best pitchers, as you said, in baseball. Mason Miller's already committed. David Bednar committed today.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen. Nah. And what I will say is, shout out to Mark DeRosa for getting these guys to commit, for starting at the top of the food chain. for starting with the top of the food chain and saying, you know what, we're committing to you day one. If you commit to me, I'll commit to you. Now he got options because remember we talked about the rules of how many pitches can you throw in each round, what starters are going to go in each round. Do I let pitch in this round and save this one? Now we know I got options, but I'm giving you the pick of the litter, right? The only thing I will say, not to dampen this or temper this or do anything like that, if you're the Tigers or the Pirates right now, you are hoping to the God up above that somebody does not come back with an elbow sprain, that somebody does not come back with an oblique, that somebody does not come back injured. Because if everything goes according to plan, Japan, we taking you out. Your boys, we taking you out too.
Wait, who's my boys? You got to specify, bro.
You wearing the DR shirt, so we coming for you. You.
Got you. All right.
We coming for you, Japan. We want your smoke. USA world champions out here 2026. I'm calling it right now. I'm stamping my flag. And I'm playing the real American theme when we come back after smoking y'all. I want some.
Here's what I'll say about Team USA right now that they're the topic of this discussion. I do want to say that going into the tournament, and not to disregard some of the other decisions, again, that are still to come for the rest of the countries, but I could already see what Team USA has in terms of pitching.
Yeah.
And I can already tell everybody right now, regardless of who you're rooting for, Team USA has the best pitching hands down.
Yeah.
Now, just because they have the best pitching, though, doesn't mean they have the best team overall, because I think teams like DR and Japan just might, and this might sound crazy. I know it sounds crazy when you think about who USA has with Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt Jr. I get it, but they just might have better lineups.
You're right, and I'm only playing. Listen, I want the best tournament possible. Of course, I'm rooting for Team USA, but if DR wins it, I'm cool. If Japan wins it, good for them. I'm cool. I'm just happy that the United States has something to say. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about. It's about them having something to say. And for the first time in the tournament's history, because even when they won it in 2017, they weren't built like this. You're bringing the best of the best out here. And I don't think they're done that neither, because I think they still got to figure out the catching. I mean, Will Smith is going to be a catcher, but I think you got to figure out the backup situation and who's playing where or whatever.
First base. We haven't heard who's
first
playing
base,
right?
And I think we got to figure out third base as well.
Third base,
or is one of those shortstops going to end up playing third, which could be possible, right? Like, to me, you got to figure out first base. You got to figure out the backup catcher role. And I would say maybe another infielder.
So
maybe another outfielder.
At second, short, and third, Team USA, they got Bryce Terang at second, Bobby Witt, and then Gunnar Henderson at third. I mean, this is like the mock-up stuff that I'm, seeing, but that's who they actually have right now to play those positions.
Yeah, and you know what? That's not bad. Mookie Betts was scheduled to play second base, but his wife is going to have a baby right before the tournament's supposed to start.
Yeah, I saw a video of him. He was on like somebody's stream talking about it, right?
So wifey said, no. You ain't going nowhere, no playing, no tournament, doing none of that foolishness, because I have this baby without you. It's going to be me and you out here. You know what I'm saying? So listen, look, in all seriousness, I just want everybody to come out of it healthy. I know we joke and all that, but seriously, health is really important. I have a bold take. They need to get rid of the All-Star game every 4 years, put the All-Star game on ice, and put this tournament in the middle of baseball season. Stop the season, I want to say maybe June 10th to about August 3rd or 4th. Play it out and make the baseball season 140-something games. Because this playing it in March before these guys are ready to even play a baseball game is insane. You are asking for players to be injured. And now the response is going to be, but aren't the other countries and aren't the other states into their seasons too? Well, Japan could put a pause on this. Everybody could put a pause on there if you really want to make this work. And if you're working in coordination with Major League Baseball, I think you should be able to do that.
Sounds like a United Nations version of Major League Baseball.
How dope would that be, though, dog?
Yeah.
And what I would say is, all right, it probably would affect the trade deadline, as Armand points out right here. Let's show the question he asked. Would it affect the trade deadline? More than likely, yes, Armand. And you know what? Here's what I'll say to that. The trade deadline could be the day after the tournament ends. Here's why. You want to know why? Because my brain's already thought about this. Guys, I'm a sicko if you hadn't figured it out yet. You're going to give guys days off to go back to their teams. You're going to give guys a day or two off to go back to their teams. So if everybody has a scheduled day off that day, make the trade deadline that day. So if you get traded, you have a day off to get to your teams, and it doesn't affect you being able to play games.
By the way, one of the main reasons why I like what you're saying, not only for what you just said, is because when you think of an all-star break, or like the NBA has an all-star weekend, you jam-packing all of that within a matter of just maybe 2 to 3 days, that's going to generate an insane amount of traffic. People are going to want to tune in like, wait, you got the classic, you got dudes probably leaving whoever they're with now by tomorrow. That sounds like fun.
Right. And what baseball can do is, listen, I know you're only playing 140 games. Put an incentive in these guys' contracts. If you play and if you win, you get a $10 million bonus in your contract. If you play and if you win, you get $10 extra million. And I'm just throwing out there as a figure.
Yeah, 10 mil is crazy, bro, but I get you.
Bro, they're generating billions off of this.
I hear you.
What's
but
10 mil?
If it were to be that, I could see it being like, maybe a couple $1 million.
That's what I'm saying. Bro, look at what the NBA just did with the Emirates Cup. The Knicks treated that like an NBA Finals game.
Wait, let me ask you this. Speaking of that, how much does each player get? Like
$500,000.
Okay, you see, that's why maybe 1-2 M's, something like that.
No, but I'm talking about if we're gonna miss games, make it so that the players don't say, well, we losing money. Give it so that the winning organization gets a $10 million pot to split amongst, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're making billions off of this. What's 10 million to 20 dudes? Come on, my nigga. Like, you got all countries represented.
You know what's one thing that I have heard for years now, because the first WBC is all the way back in 2006.
Oh yeah, 2006, right? Yeah.
But I remember for a while now, a lot of people have always said that they have never really been a big fan of the gap in between each classic, if that makes sense. Like, they don't like the fact that you got to wait a few years just to see some of these guys go out there, suit up for whoever it is that they want to play for. Because, with what you were just saying, Stefan, I think that also matters too. Maybe we make it in your case, that sounds like more of a yearly thing. That's why a lot of fun. Or you could make it maybe every other year.
Listen, make this every 2 years.
Yeah.
Make this every 2 years so that you can generate more revenue. Nah, that's not big enough to report yet. Make it so that you generate revenue, right? So that every 2 years, baseball knows, we got a windfall. That first of all, you're gonna get ratings out the where, out the yin yang, bro,
from the world.
You got all countries represented. Everybody's watching this thing. You can't tell me that's not all about ratings. Imagine you get you replace that corny all-star game. Because I'm gonna say it a little low so the people in baseball don't get offended. Fuck your all-star game. Period. I don't care.
It needs more.
And this what more is.
Yeah.
If you're telling me this tournament replaces your all-star game, that means you get ratings. That means you get revenue. Because what me and you gonna go out and do? We're gonna buy USA jerseys. You're gonna buy a DR shirt. I'm gonna go buy a USA PR shirt.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go out and spend money. You heard? It ain't like you not making money off of this. And by the way, that money you spend when the Rockies are barely having 20,000 people in the yard, when these teams that don't generate no type of revenue, you ain't making no money from the Pirates, dog. You know what it would mean to have the Classic in the middle of the season when you got packed stadiums with millions of dollars in revenue? What are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And now we don't got to play it in specific stadiums. Now you can play it any way you want. You could play it in New York. You could play it in LA. You could play it in DC. You could play it, you know what I mean? You could play any way you want. You could play because the weather's going to be good. And that's what it should be about. If you want to grow your game, you should not have the WBC in March. I'm sorry, it just doesn't make sense.
And I told you this before too, Stefan. One of the reasons I personally am not a big fan of, and it's not the tournament, right? Like the tournament itself, I love. But again, we're speaking of the timing here, right? You know, the WBC, for damn near almost every guy who gets to play for wherever it is that they're from, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want to play their best. They're not, going to half-ass as you would over the course of a 162-game season. So what does that mean? You want to play your best for your country. Now you have to go from literally just preparing yourself for spring training, not even regular season, just spring training, and then automatically going into playoff mode, right?
Yeah. And then you got to decelerate to get back into regular season mode, play a marathon, do all this, and now it's like, damn, bro. Where think about my logic too, because I thought about all this. You play it in the middle of the season. You know why? You come back, it's August 3rd, August 1st, August 4th. We getting ready for pen and chase baseball, dog. Now the playoffs are right there. Now they ain't no, yo, I gotta resettle it down. I gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta restart the engine. Now the engine started. Now we just gotta go out there and play. Now it's on. Because there isn't no, but WBC, then I gotta shut it down. Then we gotta play regular season. Then I gotta get ready for the playoffs. None of that. You go through your regular season, spring training. You go through your regular buildup. You go through all that. WBC comes July 1st. You away from your team for a month. You come back, it's postseason chase time. Nobody can't now everybody's in shape. And whoever wins it now is feeling themselves. So they going into their clubhouse like, yo, we just won the WBC, dog. If we're good enough, we can win the chip in here. Telling their teammates, yo, I just played the best baseball I ever played in my life. Let's go win this World Series. You crazy, bro?
Right.
You know what that would do for baseball? And because here's the thing, we talk about it. You want to get the younger generation involved. That's how you do it. Middle of August, no school, hot outside, feeling themselves. Oh, word, the Classic is on? All right. And then the when the season comes back, it's pen and chase baseball? You can't beat that, dog.
I was that sounded more like a rant, by the way. We appreciate that.
My bad.
No, you good, bro.
I'm passionate.
You mentioned championship, right? There is a team in this Classic who has made it twice, right? I'm speaking about Puerto Rico. But they've never won. And the reason why I mentioned Puerto Rico, not only is that, a team that I want to see go deep into the tournament, but we talked about USA, we talked about DR. But when I look at the current landscape of this Puerto Rican team, it kind of still looks pretty empty, man. Like, obviously some usuals, Lindor, Baez, Correa, Seth Lugo, but that's not enough when you talk about what some of these other countries are coming with, I'm a little surprised. And I think they're banking big on, maybe George Springer agrees, maybe Nolan Arenado. There's been rumors that I guess they've been invited, but we just haven't found out like we have when it comes to other guys.
Let me ask you a question. If you're the Blue Jays, after what George Springer just went through in the playoffs, with all the injuries, off the knee, off the this, off the that, no, you don't want him anywhere near the Classic.
That's a good point. And he was playing banged up in that World Series.
So there's no way we want you anywhere near the Classic. And Nolan, we trying to ship you out of here for a bag of balls, my boy. If you get hurt in the Classic, there goes our trade chances if we haven't traded you yet.
That's true.
Hell no.
Right. I think Riley Green of the Tigers as well was invited. But again, we got to see, man, because I think if this happens, as Stefan just said, right? Blue Jays say, listen, man, you did everything you could do for us in October, and we just want to give you a break. Don't play no classic baseball.
Hell no.
I understand PR invited you. I would do the same as well. But I think they need some more firepower because right now it's just not there for them.
They need something, but here's the problem, right? The problem is when you see what just came out of USA today and you know what's in DR and you know what's in Japan, do I even want to bother? Serious question.
Yeah.
What? And I'm not saying you shouldn't care, you should give up on the season. That's not what I'm saying. That would be disrespectful. But if you're a Puerto Rican player right now, you're looking over there going like, hold up, dog. Even if we go full strength, I don't know if we getting out of here alive. That's craziness. You know what I'm saying? But listen, can we break this down? Can I ask just one quick question? Boy, I cannot wait to see what the rest of these rosters look like in terms of, everybody says, oh, well, Great Britain's getting better at baseball in Italy. And I respect that. You guys are doing your thing. But can we just get to the main event? Can we get to Japan, DR, United States, DR, United States, Japan? Like, I'm there already. Like, skip all the falderall. Like, let's get to it. Like, it's Royal Rumble time out here.
I kind of feel like we're all ready, regardless of who we're going for. We're all like ready for the entree. Like, we're over the appetizers.
Hell
already.
yeah.
Like, one day it's this guy, then you get like 5 other dudes committing in one day. Just give the whole damn thing to us.
So it's like I was joking with somebody. It's like, you don't even serve the appetizers, dog. I want to have the stomach on empty by the time we get to the main course, B. Me sitting here with me and you on the live stream going, yo, you saw that, holy. Because here's the thing. These games are going to be bigger than World Series games.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the tension, the stress, all that bigger than World Series games.
Of course.
And that's the beauty of why I'm having it in season, because I just think the deceleration period coming off that big of a climax and damn, I got to go back. We got to play 5 more spring training games. Then we got to get ready for the season. Then we got to do blah, blah, blah. And some people may say it's good to have it in March so that you can decelerate and you don't have to go straight from the tournament to the season, which I get to some degree because that's maybe higher risk of injury and, you don't have time to rest in between. So maybe having the decel period gives you a lot of time to decompress and get your body ready for the full 162. And I know the argument could be made that that's the reason why that they probably do it this way. However, I just think, one, I don't know if everybody's fully invested when it's March, right? Like, if you put it in the middle of the season, you already got the watchers of the game who are going to watch it already watching your sport, right? So I don't necessarily think that having it in the middle of the season is a bad thing. Like, they just did the 4 nations in hockey. Nick can talk about this. We got to have Nick on one of these days to break down what they did, and because I want to have a conversation as to how baseball can kind of, do the same thing with baseball. But you want to get it so that number one, your ratings are good. You're starting to get ratings again. You're starting to develop a sense of people coming back to your game. All I'm saying is, and this is a bit selfish maybe on my part and your part, and I speak for you, and I want to know what you think about this. You want to be able to maintain whatever level of ratings that you had, coming off the World Series last year, coming off the World Series the year before that. Now you got the Classic, right? So you want to keep the good mojo going. Wouldn't you want to do it in a time where baseball is already on the minds of the public and not as spring training's getting ready to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to do it when baseball's already at the center of attention, damn near.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
One thing that you said there that was pretty interesting at the start of what you were saying there was that when you think of the amount of people who are going to be watching this,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to certain games, the ratings just might be bigger than what, some of these World Series games got, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Not just that, but for some of these players, because winning a championship in any sport is one of the hardest things to do in life, period, right? So for a lot of these guys who don't win, right, because that's what happens in most cases. A lot of guys go on, they play however many years, and they just end up not winning a championship. But the good thing is, with how passionate all these players are when it comes to the WBC, if they get a chance to win that, that means so much more to them, because it kind of feels like not only did I do it with my guys here, but we did it for our people back home.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that till you said it. So thank you, bro. Like that's a good point. Now there's a deeper meaning behind all of this. We're not just playing for our specific teams, and we're not just doing it for the jerseys. We're doing it for the countrymen and the people the islands that raised us, that grew us into the men that we are today. Manny with a great comment that I got to put up here. I don't think it's a good idea to have the WBC tournament during the season, because I don't think teams will send their ace to play and add more miles to the arm before the playoffs. That's
a good point.
That's a great point, Manny. And listen, that's why it's a debatable point, right? Like we don't have all the answers, and I don't have them, and Ivan doesn't have them, and the people in chat kind of help us understand that, because again, the thing that's beautiful about this is there's no right or wrong, right? Like I guess injuries are gonna happen regardless when you play during the season. Like somebody could blow out an arm during the season. Doesn't have to be generally correlated to the classic or when the classic takes place or whatever the case may be. Like I'll say this, and I had a change of heart on this. I don't have a change of heart on why I believe this should be, but like the Edwin Diaz injury was fluky. Like nobody knew he was going to jump on the mound and tear his ACL and do what he did. He didn't do it pitching. He did it celebrating, right? So like that could go anytime. So, I mean,
it's funny you mentioned Edwin Diaz, because I know one guy that you did want to get into who did commit to Team USA was Mr. McClain.
So I don't necessarily, and again, this is why I say it's different, because I was emotional yesterday. Good thing we didn't do this yesterday, because I needed to clear my head.
Oh, so you feel differently now?
Yeah. No, I don't feel differently, but my explanation is different. The reason why I don't want Nolan McClain to pitch is because you're a rookie coming off of, you've never thrown this many innings in your life. Now they're asking you to pitch in the biggest games on the biggest stage for now your country. Now we're talking about pride. And the youngins are going to want to go out there and be great and dominate and do his thing. The last thing you want, if you're the New York Mets, is flashbacks of Edwin Diaz where, if this kid gets hurt during the tournament, whatever thoughts we had of doing anything just got flushed down the toilet. And I'm not saying I wish that on the brother. I'm glad if he's comfortable doing this and he wants to do it, God bless him. But I guess my reasoning is like, they let Diaz do it. Diaz got hurt, and they're going to let McClain do this right after Diaz got hurt. But Diaz got hurt celebrating. He didn't get hurt he didn't get hurt pitching. So I guess that's where the difference is, right? Where if Diaz got hurt actually on the rubber throwing a pitch and his knee got blown out throwing, then that's a different case altogether. I guess my thing with McClain is you're a rookie. You haven't had
same with me. I had even told you this too, bro. For this to be his first time, obviously, he pitched for a brief moment, this past season for the Mets.
He was filthy down the stretch
and looked really good, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But for this to be his first entire season that he is now about to enter, like I personally, and Armand, let us know, Mets fans as well, let us know in the comments how you feel about this.
Yeah.
I would have wanted him to focus on that more, especially with all these changes that are happening with the Mets. Like we've talked about it on numerous episodes here now, and just this offseason alone. But listen, I don't know. It maybe, and this is maybe I'm dreaming with this, right? I told you this, Stephen. Maybe McClain goes out there, does his thing, and just, I guess proves himself not only to the Mets, but the
To the world.
baseball world.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm up next in Queens,
So, and that's great if that happens. It's great for the Mets and it's great for him. But I think every pitcher is going to have a workload because Armand says McLean will have a workload with. I think all pitchers have an innings limit that they can't throw so many innings from the teams.
Yeah, that's
right?
mandatory.
So that's mandatory. So I don't know. I just think of him being so young and him just going through his first big league off season, trying to get your body acclimated, your mind acclimated, for him to jump into the pool. And we talking about the deep end of the pool before you officially start your first rookie season. That's you're taking a big leap, my boy. But credit to you. And listen, the Mets, you letting them do it. So respect to you. Clay Holmes is also on the roster. Don't know how I feel about that either. But
the Clay Holmes, I respect. He's a guy who he's been playing for some years now. Didn't look bad, in his debut as a starter, right, this past season with the Mets. And maybe he felt it from within. Like, listen, I enjoyed what I did this past season. Mm-hmm. And who knows, maybe if Team USA wants to go back and throw him into the bullpen, right? He doesn't have to necessarily start with some of the guys who have said yes.
Who's that? Clay Holmes?
Yeah.
Clay Holmes is not starting a game for Team USA in his sleep, brother.
That's why.
And if he does, he better wake up and apologize for even having that thought. Are you out of your brain?
Listen, be careful, bro, because you never know. Listen, we know what some of these rosters look like now. We still got, 3.5 months? I would not be surprised if some of these things change for whatever the reason may be.
Obviously, it may change due to injury. It may change if somebody pulls an oblique in spring, if somebody's not all the way right. All this is subject to change. We all know that from the very beginning. But if you put the rosters on paper right now and you say, yo, this is what we rolling with into when they meet in, I think they're meeting in Arizona. When they meet in Arizona to start training, if this is the team we're rolling with, Clay Holmes, you not even come out of the bullpen, my boy.
You're not playing at all.
What? You the towel boy. You getting me extra Gatorade.
Speaking of not playing at all, Roki Sasaki, so he had committed, I believe, and then apparently they said like he wasn't pitching. So I don't know how that's gonna work now. Like, is he no longer on Team Japan, or does he still have a spot? I'm confused now.
The Dodgers were probably like, nah, fam. Nah. You could commit all you want to, but nah.
But then Yamamoto, who's also, of the Dodgers, he committed too. And I haven't really heard much, so I guess he's going to be able to pitch.
Yeah, but I think with Sasaki dealt with a shoulder injury for most of the season, though.
Right.
And Sasaki's also younger. They were worried about injury concerns and workload, and the last thing we need is our 24-year-old crown jewel, throwing his arm out and we looking all crazy. Don't need that.
But I mean, how about the other guy too, right? Like, there is a very high chance that Japan ends up making it to the championship game and they have to give the ball to Yamamoto. Now, as fans, we're going to love the hell out of it.
I want it. Absolutely.
We just saw this in the World Series. We get to see a part 2 just months later. Yeah. But if you're the Dodgers, you got to be holding on for dear life. Like, listen, brother, we could use that in October again ourselves.
No, dog. You not only you holding your breath, you're holding about 7 other body parts too. Your chest, your back, you clenching them cheeks. You hoping to God that they make it out alive. Mm-hmm. No injury, no MRI, no none of that. Nah.
Ohtani too.
Him too. But knowing him, he's a cyborg. He's gonna pitch, hit, do it all. He don't care.
I don't think he should be allowed to pitch, man. If you want a DH, absolutely, go ahead. But
I already think the Dodgers already said he's not pitching in the tournament.
He's not, right? Okay, good. I'm glad. If the Dodgers don't make that, because you got to think of who we're talking about, right? Like, these guys are genuinely passionate. Now, the Japanese folks might show it a little differently when it comes to some of these other countries, because you watch DR celebrate, and it's a club, damn near. Dudes pull up with guitars, drums, they everything, you know. They might even pull up with a bottle or two. But Japan, on the other hand, you know, they take pride in, you know, doing what it is that they do, of course, here in the States, but to be able to suit up for where they came from again. Like, I know if Roki Sasaki was given the opportunity to pitch without the Dodgers telling him no, he would have been like, oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ohtani as well. I know he wants the ball if given the opportunity, you know? So it's a good thing when certain teams kind of get involved and they're like, listen, man, I understand. I don't blame you, but just not now. And the Reds did that with Ellie De La Cruz, by the way.
Listen, and sometimes you got to protect the player from themselves, right? And we all want to see the best of the best out there. Shout out to Baseball Chatterbox, who just put us on his Instagram story as the show is live right now. So shout out to you. That's
Baseball Chatterbox. He's on TikTok with us, right?
On Instagram.
Okay, sorry, my mistake.
So I think he's on both, but he just put us on his Instagram story as we live doing the show. So I had to shout him out real quick.
Nah, shout out to him. I don't know who he is, but yo, shout out to you, bro.
That's dope. By the way, if you're still in here, man, hit the like on the video. You know, send this to people that love baseball so they can sub and do all that. But listen, man, I'm here for the main event. I'm here for Team USA against whoever. And listen, if Team USA doesn't get there, that's not a bad thing, because that means that we can get some of these crown jewels back to their teams faster.
Right. They got bigger issues to worry about, you know?
Know what I'm saying? Like, the Tigers got to be dying. Yo, Skubal in his free agent year. Yo, if something goes down, yo, we sick right now.
That's very risky because, one, and I blame them. I blame them partially here, because if they really wanted to, they could have traded him somewhere by now, right? But then they've came out, as Stefan has said on previous shows, oh, we're going to hold on. We don't want to do it. Stefan and I have said that we still stand by Tarik Skubal is going to get traded.
So here's what I'm going to tell you, right? I think. See, I didn't mean to come here. You brought me here, so this is on you. This is your fault. The market got to declutter first. Like, we got to know what we got to know what the dude in Philly's doing, the free agent
Suarez.
We got to know what he's doing. We got to know what Fromber's doing in Houston. Mm-hmm. We got to figure some stuff out first.
There's a lot of pitching still available.
Once the market declutters and the smoke is cleared, there's a chance. There's still a chance he gets traded. Because if the Tigers don't trade him, and then you send them off to the Classic, and then something happens where now you can't trade him, and now you're just stuck with a damaged asset before he hits free agency, you're going to be kicking yourself square in the rear end.
That's why I said I was blaming them, you know?
Square in the rear end. And the one thing that I find interesting, too, is like, you know, Imai is supposed to pitch for Team Japan.
Oh, he is?
I don't know if Imai is going to be allowed to pitch for Team Japan. You don't even know where you're pitching in the States yet. You pitching for Team Japan?
That's crazy.
That's a little nutty. I don't know if I want you doing that. Look, in all seriousness, we want it to go well. We want it to be amazing. I look forward to the Classic every time it's on. Me and this guy, we bond over this event. I love him. He knows that. I give him crap about the DR and PR and having multiple teams. But listen, if you're a baseball fan, there's nothing bitter than this. There's nothing bigger than this. Because this is bigger than the team you root for a full season. Now we talking about country pride. Now we talking about, yo, this could be really special depending on who wins it. And the memories you forge with the people that you watch these games with. Listen, and breaking news alert, there's going to be watch-alongs for these things.
I was just going to say that. You beat me to it. Thank you.
We're going to be in here watch-along style.
Yeah, make sure you guys keep that in mind. I know we still got 3 months, but, you know, it's never too early to start promoting, you know?
Nah, I mean, so you're going to see that. You're going to see it in the stories moving forward. You're going to see it in the different things that we do moving forward. The WBC, you're going to get more coverage from us because I want to come in here, even when we're not doing a watch along, maybe 2 times a week, yo, keeping up with the classics, the standings, who's doing what, who's playing where, who's about to do what, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna see us more, especially as the classic, approaches and is ultimately going on. But
Yeah, we definitely have to do regular shows as well during that time, because if you really think about it, as Stephen said, we are gonna do watch alongs, but we're only trying to do these games for these watch alongs, excuse me, for the big games. Like you said earlier, Japan DR, USA DR, USA Japan, maybe a
USA
PR
PR,
DR.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, games like that. We're not, no disrespect to some of these other places, but
Listen,
I'm
I'm
not, I'm
not.
not trying to come on here and watch Italy versus Canada.
Listen, dog. You ain't getting me to get up at 5:30 in the morning for Chinese Taipei and turn on the mics. You bugging.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too. The timing of these games, especially early on, like that first round is a killer. Some of those games are in like the middle of the night, early in the morning.
So you know me, because I'm a sicko. Got the alarm set. Got some in the cup over here, and we up watching, baby. You know what I mean? Oh, quick story time. You remember this, bro? We were in school together at the time. And I'm like, yo, got up about 5 this morning. And I was watching Chinese Taipei, Japan. And this dude is like, yo, I turned the game on in the 7th inning when I was getting ready, man. I had the game on. I was drinking. You said something. I was doing something, and I had the game on in the background. I was like, yo, dog, I was up since before my mom left the crib to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like I was up with the roosters at 5 in the morning.
I remember that year. That was 2017, because I remember that was the year I graduated. And then I had transferred to Brooklyn. But earlier that year, before I graduated, it must have been when the Classic was taking place at the time. Yeah, I remember.
And you looked at me like, yo, you a sick dude.
I wasn't waking up for none of those games before the sun got up, bro. Hell no, absolutely not. And I'm saying, listen, the only way I would do that, and we know they're not gonna do this, but if they were to put like a really, really good matchup for whatever the crazy reason may be, which is why again I say they won't do it, but I would get up for something like that, because then at that point I just don't have a choice,
I mean, Lord knows, don't tempt me, man. I've gotten up for less important things before. So you telling me there's baseball on the screen and I get to watch the sunrise and nobody in my room back and forth and the crib is quiet and I get to open the laptop and be on Twitter and have some fun? I'm living in my happy land at that point, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
All this WBC talk got me thinking about well, I just remembered, actually I got to get a USA shirt, bro. I got to make sure I have one by like January, February. Chat, remind me, guys, like, yo, if anybody remembers this, always remind me, like, yo, Ivan, have you gotten that Team USA shirt? I gotta get it.
And I'm gonna put a goal out there. If we get crazy viewership for the WBC, we may think about opening up a Discord.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about the viewership got to be crazy.
Yeah, that's the only way it would make
sense. There gotta be like 40 y'all in here. We gotta be the numbers, we gotta run it up out here. I'm trying to break the algorithm out here. You know what I'm saying? Like then maybe depending on who's rocking and who stays and who signs up and who subs and all that, and maybe we get rocking and rolling with the Discord. But that's if and only if we get these numbers rocking.
You know what I'm really looking forward to? And this is like really something that gets me excited, right? Because it's possible. You never know, especially with the internet. You never know who's going to come across your videos. You never know anything along those lines, right? But the beauty of this, with the entire world watching, it's going to be amazing if we come across somebody who's like, hey, I'm in Mexico watching. You guys just did a great show. Because I know we already have people from Canada who watch, obviously Blue Jays fans. We also have, it's been a while since we heard from this person, but we've had somebody from PR, I remember, like earlier this year,
couple people
show up. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see some of these other countries. Like, yo, who knows if we get somebody from Japan?
You know what's crazy is I want to see. I want to see.
Oh, that's love. Appreciate that, Chef Mamba. Appreciate that, bro.
Nah, man. Appreciate the love. By the way, Chef, we got to get up with you, man. Don't think we forgot. We got to get up with you, man. Yeah, man. Yo, do me a favor. When the show's over, hit the Instagram, hit our DM, and you know what I mean? We got some stuff we want to talk about with you. Possible interview out here. We ain't forget. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's stuff like that. Like what Chef just did. It's stuff like people that we see on the TikTok and on the YouTube. Yo, y'all do great work. We appreciate y'all. We do it for you guys. Like, if it wasn't for y'all showing up, you know, show after show, showing love and being into it, we wouldn't be doing this. Like, y'all love baseball just as much as we do. And people say, oh, it's a niche sport and it's a slow build. But slow builds are beautiful, baby, because, look, slow build is better than no build.
Slow motion is better than no motion, bro.
Word.
You know what? I wanna get that framed right here. And I know, especially when you think of where we're at right now in the world, period, right? With the way the economy is set up, everybody wants things right now, especially with the internet, social media, right? And what we do, finally bringing a show to so many different platforms. You know, aside from YouTube, we're talking TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, we're there. And I understand, right? You see all these people, they get things quickly. You know, you kind of want to do the same thing or whatever it is that you're doing. You want to make sure it grows quickly. But, yo, sometimes you just have to just go along for the ride.
Yeah, man. See where it goes.
You're the driver, but the GPS, it's not a typical GPS, if that makes sense, right? Because, listen, Stefan and I are driving a car right now that has 2 steering wheels. You don't see too many cars like that nowadays, but I know back then they had those. at least I've seen some pictures of it before, but that's what it feels like right now, right? And you guys are, I would say, the passengers that we pick up along the way. You know, sure, anybody ever played Crazy Taxi back in the days? You ever played Crazy Taxi, bro?
Damn, you just threw it back, bro.
This feels like a baseball version of Crazy Taxi. Me and Stefan just wilding out in the car. Anybody who wants a quick ride, yo, you want to learn some baseball? Just tap in with us. So
that's what it's about. It's about reaching the people. Listen, this is why we can't wait for the classic though, because I can't wait for the people that, yo, I didn't even know y'all had a show. Yo, I'm gonna pull up with these dudes. Yo, they talking about the classic. Yo, they talking about this. Yo, they live right now. I'm gonna tap in, you know what I'm saying? So that's why if you know any fellow Dominican brothers or any Puerto Rican brothers or American brothers, or even if you from Japan or wherever you from and you want to talk about the classic, we here, baby. Listen, this is why the slogan is baseball for us and by us, because what it means is the us is encompassing everybody, right? The problem is everybody says, oh, no, but I want it to be about. I don't care about being a star, dog. Y'all the star of the show. That's why there's a chat. That's why we ask y'all, yo, what y'all want to see? What y'all want to do? What y'all, you know what I mean? We may put it into action, but you tell us, yo, I could rock with that. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind, man, because I can't wait. I can't wait. Speaking of can't wait, there's been some moves over the last couple of days, and I want to get into these real quick. Brad Keller to the Phillies feels like a sneaky move to me. I love it. I love it for the Phillies. I love it for the back end of that bullpen.
I like it, especially, and I know this sounds like recency bias, but the reason why the focus for me in this case when it comes to Brad Keller is this past season is because I kind of feel like this is the first time he's actually found himself as a reliever, right? Like, for those who remember in his early days, Brad Keller was a starter. You know, he had even pitched for the Royals. I mean, Shrek is not here, but I'm sure he remembers. And to see what he did this past season with the Cubs, if he could be able to repeat that again, if he actually did find something, I
Mm-hmm.
could see how, you pair that up with a Durant at the back end.
That's
And
nasty.
maybe he's not the eighth inning guy, right? Or we have to see.
Yeah, but it's a good option to have back there if you're Rob Thompson for sure.
Hmm.
Um, Listen, a couple guys took deals that I was a
Yeah,
bit.
Luke Weaver to the Mets. That I've seen a lot of different posts about that and comments all over social media. Some people cracking jokes, some people saying it's not that bad.
Listen, if it's an arm and it works and he pitches well for the Mets, we're not gonna be cracking jokes. Listen, we already know what David Stern's plans is. We see what he's trying to build. We're trying to build an efficient roster. We're not trying to break the bank. And if Luke Weaver can help us and if we're out of it, we're gonna flip him at the deadline. Like even I can see Devin Williams even getting traded. Like if it don't work and the Mets are out of it and he's having a good year, hey, let's flip you. You know what I'm saying? So everything is relative with the Mets. It's a very fluid situation happening in Queens, and that's the lens you have to view it through. Like that's why everything they do is kind of like, oh, you did something, but you know what I mean? Like Caleb Thilbar back with the Cubs, a left-hander. I like that a lot. He was big for them last year. Like you kind of see like these teams now know like, hey, bullpens matter. It's very important. Like it's not just one of those things that you can just say, hey, we'll do this and we'll let it go. And then no, it all everything matters. It's all encompassing. So the one thing I'm curious about is like we've been talking about the same teams. Like, yo, when is this team gonna move? And when is this team gonna but shout out to the Texas Rangers for making some moves. Shout out to the Cubs for finishing, getting some stuff done. Real quick, it didn't happen, but this is big time stuff. Shout out to the Atlanta Braves. You offered Edwin Diaz a 5-year contract. He said no, but you offered him a 5-year deal.
Do you know what the money? Because I saw what you sent the other day. I don't recall if I saw the amount of money, but the years I remember.
So it
Now,
was a
it's interesting. I'd like to know, like, what was the actual?
so it was a 5-year deal. It was like I think I read the number was somewhere in the range of like 78 million, but it was deferred money, like 20 million deferred, and like just so that for tax purposes they could have, made it work. But they offered him 5 years though. That's one thing we do know. And like if Atlanta is offering you 5 years, it means that they believe that they're going to compete. The Mets are weaker. The Nationals are still growing, obviously. Miami has a bunch of questions. Which pitching do they keep? Which pitching do they trade? The Phillies are the Phillies. So if you're Atlanta, if you could kind of sneak back into this division race if healthy, why not? Take a shot at it and go for it.
Yeah, I think that's what it really comes down to when you're the Braves, because I think when you look up and down that lineup, especially, they have a nice core there. Right now, I understand guys are banged up. It happens, and not just in a lineup, but even when it comes to that rotation, right? Chris Sale is obviously getting up there in age. How
Mm-hmm.
long could you really rely on him to be your quote unquote ace? I would say, right, in his late 30s. Spencer Strider, I know he was, coming back from I think he had gotten like elbow surgery a year ago or so. And I like to see how he now looks. You got a year under your belt after getting that procedure done. Maybe now, Chris Sale, Spencer Strider looks as good as it should be.
So if I'm Atlanta, I'm going to get one guy, Framber Valdez. I'm going to put Framber at the top of my rotation because now you're telling Chris Sale, yo, you don't have to be the ace. You just have to be a part of this rotation. Framber Valdez to me makes a lot of sense because I don't think the Mets do it. I don't think the Yankees do it. I don't think the Phillies do it. I don't think the Dodgers do it. Atlanta's a perfect spot.
Yeah, I do think Atlanta in this case can't, I would say, necessarily put all their eggs into one basket when it comes to that 1-2. And this is not a knock on them, right? I'm just
No.
strictly speaking on like who these guys are at this point in their careers, especially a Chris Sale. Like, I'm sorry to say this, Braves fans, but asking Chris Sale to go out and throw 200 innings, strike out 200 guys is a lot these days. I know we've seen him do it for a really long time now, but what you got a couple of seasons ago from him, that may have been the last time you might get that out of Chris Sale ever again. Seriously, like you genuinely have to start thinking like that at some point.
No, you do. I actually like that move. Framber is no longer an ace in my eyes, but He's a winner and ATL to flip. Yeah, I think if you, and this is the thing, we can't look at guys like I like that move. I was about to get into it. You can't look at guys like, oh, he has ace quality stuff. I think if you're Alex Anthopoulos and the Braves, you're just trying to build the best rotation possible where it doesn't matter who gets the ball game one. You let performance dictate, okay, you get the ball. You get the ball. Whoever's pitching the best when the season's on the line is who gets the baseball. Like, I don't want to go in there with preset roles. Like, hey, you're the number one, you're the number two. You know, just by the back of the baseball card, who is going to be your top three starters when the dust settles. If it's Fromber, if it's Spencer, you know, and I think they also like Schwellenbach too. I think Schwellenbach goes over Chris Sale at this point in his career. Right. I think Chris Sale is your number 4 starter, and I don't think that's a bad thing to say at this point.
Yeah, that's one hell of a number 4,
right?
Because if he's healthy, that's a 4 that he could pitch in any big game for you.
So that's what I'm saying. And what you want to do is you want to have it so that Chris Sale doesn't have to get the wear and tear early in the season. I can skip him a few starts. I can push him down. I can do some things to lessen his workload. You understand? So that by the time we get to August, September, October, he's in mid-season form and he can really help us move forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Speaking
why
of Chris Sale, I just had this random thought. I don't know if you ever thought about this, bro. Doesn't Chris Sale remind you of like baseball's version of Kevin Durant?
How skinny he is, yeah.
Yeah, they're real lengthy, real bony, skinny, you know.
By the way, Adolis to the Phillies is going to be electric.
I think I know why they did that. I think I know why. And they haven't done it yet, but Castellanos, remember, there was a situation. I don't remember when exactly. Chad, if anybody who's watching right now remember,
it was late in the season. It was late in the season.
There was something where, you know, there was this back and forth. Castellanos would say one thing to the media, Phillies was saying something else. And from that point on, even now, this very moment right now, at this point into the offseason, I had always thought that they were going to move on from him. And I could be wrong, but I kind of think that's where
you have
Garcia fits. Yeah.
The reason why you have to is you can't let all that smoke fester. And then you tell them, oh, welcome back to Clearwater in spring training, and everybody's singing Kumbaya. The problem is I don't know what type of package you're going to get for him because he's horrible defensively. He doesn't do enough offensively where it's worth it for you at this stage in his career, and he doesn't run the bases well. So he's kind of like a, you know, I think the Phillies might have to just cut him and eat the 1 year that's left.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the way he has performed throughout his career and now being an older guy, the bat not really being where it once was.
Yeah,
Phillies knowing that. Plus, you're running your mouth. Yo, that's how you end up being out the league. You know, you got to be careful.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry, brother. Hell yeah.
Because if he continues, and it's only gonna get worse, right? He's getting up there in age. He's strictly a DH at some point. Like that's all he can offer.
Yeah, and Schwarber, you didn't sign him to play the field. So, Nick, your role just got snatched, my boy. Because Kyle Schwarber's hitting like 50 home runs a year. At least he was. And even if he still goes down to 35, 40, that's still better than any output you ever had. You know what I'm saying? So, and Adolis, I just feels like it makes sense for them. Like, he plays with a certain fire. He plays with a certain flair. And if he's good, you saw what he did in the 2023 playoffs. That brother was hotter than fish grease.
You know what I think is going to help Garcia too is being in a lineup with Trey Turner, Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Listen, no shade to the Texas Rangers, but y'all don't have guys like that over there. I mean, you got a Corey Seager, but outside of that, you ain't really have what's going on.
In Philly, they have what I like to call aircraft carriers, right? Where Kyle Schwarber is an aircraft carrier. Bryce Harper is an aircraft carrier. You know, you got guys that do this at a very high level that are aircraft carriers. So I'm wondering out loud, and I'm thinking out loud, I'm wondering now what
I think he's able to play, even though I know he's going into, you know, new team. He's been with Texas for some time. I think we might actually see a bounce back season out of Adolis Garcia. I think he's going to be rejuvenated. And then also, too, listen, the Phillies aren't just any team, right? Like the Phillies that's a playoff team right there. Now, where they end up, I don't know. We'll have to see. But he's going to a team that really has something going for themselves.
I'll say this. By the way, we're gonna get to that juicy room I talked about here in a second, because Yankees Twitter's going absolutely berserk.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, Yankees Twitter's losing their minds right now. So, listen, it makes sense for the Phillies. It makes sense for everybody involved. Listen, if you're telling me that Brad Keller, Adolis Garcia, and JT Realmuto finish off your offseason and go with Schwarber and whatever else you got going on, and if you could figure out this pitching situation, that's a nice offseason for Philly. That's not now that outfield is going to be horrendous defensively. They're going to be horrid, but they're going to score some runs. They're going to score some runs. All right. Main event time, fun time. Tatsuya Imai is the Yankees are expected to be a finalist on his list. The Yankees, Cubs, Phillies, and I think there's one more dark horse in there. And I believe that dark horse to be the Atlanta Braves. It's about to come to a head. And Jack Curry said something on the Hot Stove Show that was a little bit interesting.
He gave it away?
He said, when it comes to Yankees and Tatsuya Imai, he said, stay tuned. Now, he walked it back with, I don't know. It's very unlikely that the Yankees would blah, blah, blah. But Jack Curry doesn't say words like stay tuned if there's not some level of connection between the player and the Yankees. Who is Imai represented by? Scott Boras.
Really? Wow.
Who are you trying to get back right now? Cody Bellinger. Who's Cody Bellinger represented by? Scott Boras. If you don't think Brian Cashman's like, 2 for 1, 2 for 1. Let's do it, 2 for 1. I take Cody back and you give me Imai. We make it work. Let's make it happen out here. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I never bought the idea that the Yankees were going to be under 300 million. I always told you I thought it was going to be 325, 340. I always knew they were going to be above 300. It was never going to be a thing. Oh, we're going to get under 300. No. You get under 300 when pigs fly and they haven't flown yet. They ain't getting under 300. Don't let the media lie to you. I'm telling you right now, if there's a reason why the Yankees want this dude, they finished second for Yamamoto. They finished, you know what I mean? They finished second for Ohtani. They know the pain of finishing second. They don't want to finish second here. And if the Dodgers are already out the equation, there's no reason why Tatsuya Imai should not be wearing pinstripes. That's no disrespect to the Cubs. That's no disrespect to whoever's in this. If the Yankees really want the player, he's going to be a Yankee.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's been a while since the Yankees have tapped into the Japanese market. I think the last one was what? Tanaka, right?
Tanaka was their last one, and Tanaka
a while ago.
But he was great for the Yankees, though, and he was comfortable, and he pitched really well here.
I was a fan of Tanaka, yes.
If you're going to tell me that, you gotta listen. Right now, Imai is your number 5 starter. No, look, Cole, Rodon, Cam, even if Heel is here.
Well, when they're all back, yeah.
Yo, fam. What? Mm-hmm. What? And then you're gonna tell me Imai's your number 5?
Now, if he's able, and I'm only saying this because of, again, the last time the Yankees have actually done something like this where they tap into the Japanese market for a pitcher in this case. If he's able, because remember, early days of Tanaka as a Yankee, those are some special days.
He was filthy. Yeah.
He legitimately looked like a number 1. And then I know he had, something happen and he kind of like just played through it.
Even with the partial tear in his UCL, Massa was something else, man. Massa was different.
He had some moments
and
as well.
I missed one. Max Fried. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're telling me the rotation is Fried, Cole, Fried, Rodon, Schlittler, Imai, Can I ask you a question? Name me a better five in the big leagues.
No, that's the best 1 through 5. Bias aside. My only issue is with the way things work in baseball, we will probably not get a chance to see
Okay.
all 5 at the
No.
same time.
Now,
Now
gotcha.
we might see them sporadically over the course of the entire season because guys are also coming back from
Could be.
injuries.
Could be.
But when you look at this on paper, 1 through 5,
Yeah, could be.
that's the best starting rotation.
Listen, if you line everything up, listen, and I'm gonna tell you this too, because Cash don't never tell you the truth. Like Brian Cashman never tells you to tell you the truth. They never tell you what they think. They may give you an idea. Like, I love the whole okey doke he was playing. You know, I think he was okey doking us the whole time. Me included, because I bought it. I was like, yo, I think the Yankees under trading for a starter. Now I think, no. They're going to get this young brother. They're going to get him. 27 years old, throwing 99 miles an hour. You're going to get him. And I think you're going to get ready to move heaven and earth to get him too. And here's the thing. He ain't working out in LA. The Yankees don't got to fly to him. He's going to fly to them. He's coming to New York to meet with, he's going to each team city. So if you already know, oh, this brother's coming here, no. You leaving Yankee Stadium with a signed, sealed, delivered contract, my boy. You ain't leaving the city of New York without being signed up. Hell no.
So I know in his case, I know his situation is a little different. You know, we talked about it on the last show. Murakami, his date to make a decision is the 22nd of this month, right? And I believe Imai, his is in January. I don't know the exact date, but I believe his is in January. But the reason why I share that is because I wanted to ask you, Stefan, do you think that, you know, we'll have to wait up until January, or do you think between now and maybe like a Christmas? Because I think Christmas is in a week, right?
I think what's gonna happen with Imai is, you know, Scott don't move at the pace everybody else. Scott's
So
like,
we're gonna have to wait till January, maybe.
We're gonna wait till like January 2nd, 3rd, you know, hop on here right after the new year. He ain't stupid. And you want to get Murakami out the way first, though. You know, there's some stuff that got to get figured out before we get to, like, Murakami has to be signed by Monday.
He got 4 days, yeah.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy about that? We don't even know a market for this dude at this point. That's insane. Bro, when have you ever heard me come on here and say, yo, I have no idea? Think about that.
Yeah, we talked about it on last show. It kind of feels like a lot of teams who were drooling over him as early as this year, they're now like, are not interested.
Can I ask a question though? And I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. And I'm not trying to start a conspiracy theory. Don't come for me, please. I wonder if teams are backing away from him because they already think he's going to sign with the Dodgers no matter what the outcome is.
Right.
You're like, why even invest resources and money and time into you when if the Dodgers come calling, that's where you're going, and regardless what we do.
You know, it's very funny you say that. And here's why I'm laughing. Did you see the comment the other day on TikTok of the person who had said, watch the Dodgers? And I'm only referencing this. Listen, I know not all you guys follow us on TikTok, but it fits what we're talking about right now, especially what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
So this person, he said that watch the Dodgers end up signing him, throwing him in the minor leagues, moving on from Max Muncy after this upcoming season to then throw Murakami at third.
Makes total sense to me.
Yo, that is crazy. Yo, let us know what you guys think about that, chat. Like, is that possible?
It makes total sense to me because they did it with Sasaki. Sasaki was in the minor leagues for like the first 4 months of his career.
Right.
And he came up and right before they got into the playoffs, he started making moves. I can see when Max Muncy get off to a rough start. It's like July. He's looking like completely lost. And they go, yo, Murakami, come up and play third, my boy. You bad at it, but we need that bat up here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they should. Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
What does that say there?
I don't think they should be. There should be a market cap of deferred money because they built the dynasty, loan money. Shit crazy. I hate this. Listen, we don't listen. If you at least they're honest, like yo, we paying this deferred money with the Edwin Diaz signing. You know they now owe $1 billion in deferred payments.
Crazy.
That's just deferred payments. That's not even the actual money on the contract. You owe 1.7 in deferred payments is insane.
You know what's another reason why I think
Yo,
they
that's
also do that too?
crazy, bro.
Like we know, what they offer guys now,
Yeah,
but I also think they understand, like, listen, what we have going on for us right now in LA
yo, yeah, nah,
is nothing compared to what the future is going to be. And what I mean by that is I think this organization, being the Dodgers, knows for a fact that what they have going on for themselves is only going to get bigger.
yeah, that's why I think there's a chance that teams are like, yo, forget signing Murakami. You already know where he's ending up. So instead of having an open market, let the dude just announce on his Instagram, yo, I've agreed to the minor league deal with the Dodgers. I'm going to play in LA. We already know that this is what it's ending up. Because for there to be no market, bro, I really got to ask. You wonder how many teams are just like throwing up their hands at this point. Like, yeah, you know what? Why even bother? Like there was a post that on Twitter that somebody said, yo, the White Sox are interested in Murakami. I was like, yeah, that's just the agent trying to drum up some interest. But for you to not hear any specific teams attached to him, that just means I think half of Major League Baseball is just like, all right, bro, let's just let the bombshell drop. Another player from Japan going to the Dodgers, short flight. His boys are all there. Mm-hmm. I mean, why are we even wasting our time with this?
So I wanna highlight this comment quickly because I think it's gonna relate to what I'm about to say here. Where he says, Chef Mama says this is terrible for the balance of competition and competing. Well, I do agree with you to a certain extent, but the reason why I wanted to highlight your comment is because, listen, it really just comes, and I know this is not the case with everybody. Obviously, Ohtani, he wanted to go to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yamamoto, same thing, wanted to go to the Dodgers, right? But at the end of the day, some of these guys didn't have to end up there. Like we're seeing in this offseason with Edwin Diaz choosing the Dodgers over the Mets. Like, yo, he wanted to hear from the Mets. He wanted to know what it was that they were going to offer him after knowing what the Dodgers had given to him. That means if the Mets wanted to, like, yo, you had a shot. You had a shot to prevent the Dodgers from getting stronger, as they always do, and you failed.
Nah, I disagree because he didn't come back to the Mets for a final offer.
Yeah, but not just him. I'm talking about other guys. If they would just stretch it out a little more, I don't think everybody would just keep going there. Now, I know the Japanese market is a little different. That's why I mentioned Ohtani.
No, yeah,
Yamamoto,
for sure.
Other signings that they've made.
Yeah,
Blake Snell, Tyler Glass. Now these guys didn't necessarily have to go there.
So one thing I will say though is like I wonder now, right? And like you said, oh my God, I don't want this to happen. This is gonna be terrible. Scott Boras is playing this beautifully, right? Because look at Cody Bellinger. I got the Mets involved, I got the Yankees involved, and I got the Dodgers involved. It came out today. I heard what he's looking for. If we officially know what he's looking for,
let's hear it.
I'm hearing he's looking at an 8-year deal north of $300 million.
Cody Bellinger, wow.
And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that.
Get your bread, bro, if that's what you want.
I'm not doing that because I don't think you're worth that.
That's pretty steep. 300 over 8?
300, anywhere from 8 to 10 years.
Okay.
But I don't think he's worth that, though. Serious baseball question. He's worth that money to you?
At this point in his career, I don't know if I would commit that. I don't think so.
That's insane, bro. You talking about that's anywhere from 38 to 40 plus $1 million a year. Nah.
So I understand you mentioned what he's looking for, but has there, because I personally haven't seen like any offers. Do you know about like what he's gotten so far? Or
nobody's come close. Nobody's come close.
He might have to come back down to earth a little bit.
When I mean nobody, I mean the Yankees haven't sniffed it. The Dodgers are like, hell no. And the Mets are just like, no, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, and here's the funny part. I don't think Kyle Tucker gets it either. $400 million. If he got $400 million, why he ain't a Blue Jay by now? $400 million. $40 million a year? Since when? Since when are you worth that money? Since when?
Right.
Hell no.
That's crazy.
Listen, at the end of it all, it ain't my money. It ain't your money. It ain't the chat's money. Do what you want. But this is where fans get turned off, right?
I do have a Yankee question, but go ahead.
Fans get turned off by the fact that you treat this as like, now you're starting to get beyond the border, the point of arrogance now. Now you're asking for something that's just not feasible at this point. And if you're the Yankees, why do you strap yourself to this contract when you know 2027, the free agent class is going to be loaded with pitchers, loaded with some position players? Why do this to yourself? Is this player worth it? No. And if Cody Bellinger would have come down to earth and be a little bit more realistic before he, with his expectations, I would do it. If his deal was 5 years at 200 to 210 million, I would do that. But I'm not doing no more than that.
So here's the thing, right? Because I haven't really come to this possibility yet. It actually just came to my mind, but I think it fits what we're talking about here. So with other teams now being in the race to try to land someone such as a Cody Bellinger, right? You mentioned a couple there aside from the Yankees. So what if he goes to another team, right, and doesn't return to the Bronx? Now, I know some people might say, oh, you go get Kyle Tucker, but wouldn't that cost more money probably? Like, what do you do if we get to a point where the Yankees don't want to commit to Bellinger and then they simply don't want to pay what Kyle Tucker wants? Then at that point, who do you want?
I'm going to get Bo Bichette.
Okay, all right.
Because to me, Bo Bichette is a better hitter than both of them.
He is.
If you're talking about offense, specifically offense, Bo Bichette is a better hitter than both of them. And Bo Bichette's not going to break my back. Y'all dudes are out of your mind. Like, Juan Soto is a special case, so I get it. I'm not mad. Go ahead, go get your money, young boy. But the whole world asking for this now? Y'all got Otanis and Sotos running around here? You got them in factories?
I told you, bro. Didn't I? Yo, I always said this on the show. Otani, and I'm not blaming these dudes. Listen, I think Otani.
They deserved it.
Otani should have signed $1 billion deal with the Dodgers straight up. He should have. Yeah. He should have. But I just don't think that, we're talking about a different type of species.
No.
Like, Otani and Soto are dudes like, you don't really get to talk about guys like this often. You get what I'm saying? So listen, what they got is what they got. But for all of these players to come out of the woodworks, I want 350. I want 4. I want 275. Yo, everybody chill. Not all of you guys are worth that money. You
gotta understand. You're talking about Soto and Otani. You got Martians walking amongst mortal humans.
Yeah.
You understand? These guys ain't human beings, bro. They're the baseball equivalent of the Monstars, bro. You ever seen the movie Space Jam? Where they take all the NBA guys' power? That's almost like what this is like. Talking about Monstars, bro. These guys ain't humans. They're Martians. They're from other... Come on, bro. Since when Cody Bellinger had 3 pretty good seasons, and his last one was great. But we forget how bad he was when he left the Dodgers and couldn't get out of his own way.
Yeah, there was a nice little gap there, yeah.
Know what I'm saying? Like, what did Kyle Tucker ever do to make me feel like, damn, I gotta have Kyle Tucker pay him $400 million? Ain't that player, bro? You ain't that. What Jay-Z said, this ain't you. This ain't you, and I forgive you. I forgive you. This game just ain't you. You ain't this. So now we're going to act like, but we're doing a player disservice. Don't you want the player to get free open market? Yes, but within reason.
I do think one of them are going to get 300.
The longer this goes, I think Bellinger's going to end up with the Dodgers. Just my guess.
Oh, God.
And I think Kyle Tucker is going to end up with the Blue Jays. Just my guess.
Okay, Kyle Tucker with the Blue Jays. I'm rocking with that. Because I want that for Toronto, right? I think that would really like help them be
And if you're
the absolute favorite in the American League.
And if you're the Yankees, like, I kind of get you walking away from both situations. I get it.
That's why I asked my question about what do you do after, but that was an interesting one with Bo Bichette.
No, not to chew my food twice, but I got to get this off my chest.
Chat, what is this man talking about, bro?
When you sign Aaron Judge to that 9-year deal, you doom yourself to having to make uncomfortable decisions. Follow where I'm going. Mm-hmm. When you sign Aaron Judge to that long-term extension, you doom yourself to have to make uncomfortable decisions where you have to win now in spite of what your bottom line tells you should do. To me, it was a slam dunk, and I don't care about the fans. I don't care about the backlash. I don't care about the vitriol. I'm talking about strictly from a baseball perspective, team building perspective, where you were at the time when he re-signed his contract. If you ask Brian Cashman today, Aaron Judge is wearing a Giant or a Padre uniform.
Wow.
If you told Brian Cashman, yo, what do you do? There's a reason why when Aaron Judge negotiated his contract before the season and it came out and it was public and Judge was tight, I'm alienating you because I don't want you back. Because Cashman believes that, yo, you are not bigger than the brand. If it wasn't for Hal Steinbrenner, you are not back here. I didn't want to pay you, but I had to. My boss paid you. I didn't. Because now that disrupts his vision. Because now he got to make an uncomfortable decision. This is why we're hearing about challenge trades with Jazz Chisholm. And, you know, do we get uncomfortable? And what trade do we make? And do you pay Jazz? And do you not? What does it all mean? Listen, fact remains, Hal's not rich enough to own this team anymore. You just ain't. You ain't in the big boy school no more. So you're trying to tell your general manager to penny pinch and do what he needs to do, but you screwed yourself when you gave Aaron Judge that extension because now you got to win at all costs because now the fan base is looking at you going, yo, you paid him $360. What the rest of this looking like?
Right? You can't let Aaron Judge end his career off with not winning a World Series. How would that look? Not only for Aaron Judge, but for the Yankees as an organization, right? You telling me this guy came up through your system and you couldn't win with him?
Breaking news. Michael King back to the Padres.
Okay, Padres. All right, got that guy back.
Michael King back to the Padres, 3 years, $75 million. Deal includes player options for 2027 and 2028.
Wow, that's not bad. So 25 per?
25 a year that's a nice deal. Mm-hmm. And he was looking for a 4-year deal, and I guess he just never felt comfortable. What I'm going to do right now.
Maybe he wanted 4 at 100?
He was looking at 4 at maybe like 90, 95, but it never got to that point. So what we're going to do is we're going to go get a picture of Michael King. I'm going to post this as we talk. So this is breaking news. Michael King to the Padres is real. Mm-hmm. I really thought he was coming back to the East Coast, but I guess not. I guess that wasn't the thing, right? Like, I guess he was comfortable in San Diego, which leads me to believe if the Padres just did this, there's a trade coming somewhere. Shedding some payroll. It's coming.
I mean, they have quite a few deals that they could really do something like that with, right? Mm-hmm. I know we've talked about, you know, the possibility of a Tatis. Maybe at this point in his career, I don't think anybody really wants Manny Machado. Maybe not even Xander Bogaerts, but they still have other guys too. So it'll be interesting to see who they depart with.
Listen, now their offseason just got a little bit more interesting. I'm going to post this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to post this as I talk to you guys. But your offseason for AJ Preller got a little bit more interesting because guess what? Now you got to trade Mason Miller. Now you got to trade some of these guys
Mhm.
because now it's going to get harder to keep everybody. You understand? Now it's not like, oh, we got a shot to do uh XYZ. Now there's a question of like, do we trade player X? Do we trade player Y? Because financially it's just not feasible to keep everybody. Now, I will say this. Good for the Yankees, good for the Mets, and good for the Red Sox for not giving this player this money. Because now we're talking about a guy who was hurt most of last season and he was looking at 25 he's looking at 25 million a year. I'm not saying don't go get your money. Go get your money. Here's the problem. We're already talking about the Yankees having some cash issues. The Mets don't want to do this, and Boston was never going to go to this length. So I guess what he realized was, yay, man, I really want this money. I want this security for myself, for my family, for all that. And the Yankees were probably only offering them 3 at 60, maybe 65. They never got close to 75. I wonder what the final numbers on all three of these teams are going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, it feels like the Padres just blew everybody out the water, and AJ Preller continues to be a madman.
Yeah.
He just continues to be a madman.
With whatever the Padres are going to do this offseason, in addition to now, of course, landing Michael King, my whole thing when it comes to the San Diego Padres is I just want it to finally work, right? Because I'm tired of anticipating and guessing like, yo, you know what? The Padres are good. We watched this version of the Padres throughout the course of the regular season, and it looked like they could go toe-to-toe with damn near anyone, right? Even sometimes with the Dodgers. You hear smack talk between all these guys who play for the Dodgers and the Padres when they go up against each other. But if this is the direction they are going in now, you know, again, AJ Preller, you've given him a lot of credit, and so have I on the show, Stefan. I just hope he's able to make it finally work over there.
So the player options include opt-out. So Michael King can opt out after the 2027 season and after the 2028 season.
Wow. And he might actually use those, especially if he puts up really good numbers. I mean, why not?
So that's that. It's because to be able to hit the market again, if you have coming off a good year,
Exactly.
when pitching is such at a premium, that is a smart move. Whoever his agent is, I think his agent's Casey Close.
Mm-hmm.
That's a smart gift for the Padres because one, you got him for the year. You got him for 2026 for sure. And if he pitches really well and doesn't feel like San Diego's moving in a direction where they can contend, you opt out and you can leave. The other thing is, right, if they are playing really well and you feel like you can build a winner, now we're starting to talk about, hey, maybe Michael King is a foundational piece we can use moving forward. We use him in a potential trade. There's a bunch of stuff that can happen now, but boy, did this open up the pitching market. And here's what I'm going to tell you. I think, one, this opened up the market for Valdez. This opened up the market for Suarez. Now we're talking about something because I think the finalists for Michael King, if I remember correctly, were the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Orioles, and the Padres were out until today because I had checked with somebody. I was like, where are we at with Michael King? And they're like, I think he's going to come back to the East Coast. He has a preference. He's from Massachusetts originally. So I guess AJ Preller must have called them like, hey, man, we get you to 25 a year. If you want it, here it is. Take it. Hell of a deal for them. Hell of a deal for him. Boy, that's a great deal.
If he's getting 25 per season, then what does that mean for Framber Valdez and Ranger Suarez?
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if Michael King is getting 25 a year, Framber Valdez just got himself a 30 between anywhere but from 30 to 33 million, and Ranger Suarez just got himself from anywhere from 28 to 32 million.
Yeah, I think both of those guys signed for over $100 million. I could see it.
You know what I mean?
Especially
Like
Valdez.
Because Framber was probably looking at Michael King like, all right, big boy, set the market for us, make us look good out here, and he did. $25 million a year for a guy that, for all intents and purposes, Michael King is a good pitcher, but he's no, I'm working as I'm doing this, guys. He's no Framber, he's no Ranger Suarez, and he got paid.
Right, right.
So what
Exactly.
does that mean for the rest of everybody who say, well, damn, if he got paid, then what does it mean for everybody else? And they just said a lovely market. And like I said, I want to know where the Yankees fell in all of this. If the Yankees even offered him anything close to this, if the Mets even offered anything close to this, because the Mets they seem like they want to do 3-year deals, but the one thing you know about David Stearns don't like paying for pitching. So what was the final number by the time we get to the Yankees and the Mets? But boy,
You know who would be, I think, an interesting player for the Mets in this case, especially when I heard you just say that David Stearns doesn't want to pay for pitching here, because that's what we're talking about. I think I would go ahead and take a gamble on a guy like a Zach Gallen, right? Because I think it's something that is not going to cost as much as when it comes to a Valdez, a King in this case, a Suarez. But at the same time, I think there's definitely some upside there. We've seen him do it before. Now we haven't seen him do it over the course of maybe a 2 to 3 season stretch. But there's, it could also be risky where you give him whatever you give him and he ends up coming over here and he pitches to like a 4 ERA. That's not what I'm talking about now. I'm talking about the positive side of Zach Gallen and where he looks like your possible, number 2 damn near if he's really on. Because we've seen that version of him in Arizona.
Yeah. And that's what I think many teams are hoping for. As I get the screen pulled up so we can share this deal with the people.
Which deal? The Michael King one?
Yeah, so we can just share with the people, let you know that we really work out here. We don't just talk about working. We breaking news on the air, baby. You know what I mean? Like, this is how this works out here. Let me open this up a little bit.
By the way, follow us on Twitter, guys. I know not a lot of people, rock with Twitter, but if you do, go ahead, follow us there.
You know what I mean? So there's the details for you guys. And
shout out to the homie Keith. I see he's live right now. Shout out to Keith.
You know what I mean? So
you see that live on X Tab right there?
Yeah. So just letting y'all know that we really do this out here, baby. This ain't just talking about us just talking about they just talk about now. We do it out here. We break news. We on top of everything. I broke that while I was live here with y'all. So it's gonna be a crazy offseason, guys. I'm telling you, there's still so much to do, so much more to come. But if you're Framber Valdez and you're Ranger Suarez, you are sending Michael King a bottle of whatever he's drinking. Hell yeah, his agent's getting it. The Padres, whoever you got to send that liquor to, they getting it right now. Because I do think, one, the Red Sox still need pitching.
Yes.
I think the Yankees do something substantial, whether it's EMI or a trade. Whatever they do, they're going to end up with someone. The question I have now is, what do the Mets do and what do the Red Sox do? Because the Red Sox are risk averse as well. They don't seem to want to go to certain places when it comes to starting pitching. So does this particular deal change the way they do business? Tough.
I've heard some people say that they think Alex Bregman returning to the Red Sox is a lock. But I kind of feel like, damn, I don't either. It would have happened by now, right?
I don't know if he's returning to the Red Sox as a lot. I don't think it would have happened because I also think Scott is slow playing his market, right? Like, I think Scott really wants to get in the most money he could possibly get him because this is Bregman's last big deal.
Yeah, it's gonna.
So it's like I don't want to rush into anything crazy because then if I rush into something crazy, I might end up losing. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna sound crazy. I think there's a legitimate chance Alex Bregman is playing in Arizona next year. I do. I really do. From Arizona in the offseason, young family, wife loves it in Arizona, and would not be risk averse to staying in Arizona. Now, Bregman has said, listen, I'm open geographically. Doesn't matter. I'll go wherever. But if you're telling me that they could get off Ketel Marte and then slide Alex into that, money slot, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. And there was a rumor that the owner, Ken Kendrick, said we could do both. So if they could do both, and you end up with Cattell and Alex, boy, does the pecking order change in the NL West to me? Now it's not. Now we can talk about, where does the Diamondbacks, where do they sit in all this? You know what I'm saying? Like, do we slot them second? Do we slot them third? Where's everybody going? So Alex Bregman to me is one of the bells of this ball because he's a proven winner. He does everything the right way, and it just makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I think Boston's going to get the last crack. If Boston comes close to what he's asking for, I don't think he can leave.
And I hope Boston doesn't stop there, right? Because as you mentioned, if you have a shot to have both Alex Bregman and then add a Ketel Marte, listen, you got to go for it. You got to go for it while you can. Because I think the longer we let time pass, especially when it comes to a Ketel Marte, I think the difficult it becomes, not only for the team trying to land him, but also for the Boston Red Sox. Well, excuse me, not the Red Sox, the Diamondbacks in this case.
So, listen, all I'm saying is, and this is what it feels like too. It feels like we're gonna get off of here, right? We're gonna say we'll see you guys in a few days, and it feels like we might even be back here tomorrow night because everybody's trying to get their last deals off before Christmas comes.
Yeah, I think we're definitely probably gonna get like maybe 2 more shows than maybe before Christmas.
Yep.
I'd say 3. 3 is pushing it, but 3 is possible because we just did 3 shows last week, damn near.
I mean, look, when Murakami signs, depending on where it is, we got to come back here and do that.
Yeah, but that would be short, especially if not much else happens. That'd be
no. But
short.
I'm saying, like, since now we know what the market is for these starting pitchers, don't be surprised if the starting pitching market opens up.
Yeah,
like where like, all right, he got paid. They know where the number is now. Let's go chase that number down. You know what I mean? So that's why I think stuff is gonna start moving a little bit faster now because we're getting towards Christmas.
Yeah. Well, we got what, a week to be exact. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, for sure. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know we ran long, but that broke in the middle. Right when we were about to wrap up, it broke. So
yeah, it was that Michael King stuff because we were getting ready to end. Yeah.
So, all right, guys, this was fun. We'll see you guys again. Probably, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't say tomorrow. Maybe Saturday. Maybe you get a little late Sunday. A little Sunday drop, depending on what happens. And you have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.